So today we're just going to kind of be focusing on marketing and how we can increase sales by understanding where traffic is coming from. So that because from the brief 5 minutes that I've been here, you guys are busy and you're doing lots of things. So really, how can we leverage the time that you have and make it super, super valuable? Okay, so my name is Allison. I have two rambunctious little boys. So if you hear any kerfuffle downstairs, it's fine. Dad's with him, but that's what's happening. I was actually an elementary teacher. I taught fourth grade for about 3 years and third grade for 1 year. And now I look at spreadsheets and talk about data, which seems like a bit of a strange jump. But if you think about it, right, like teachers, we are constantly looking at data to make decisions, right? Asking questions of our students, trying to figure out, do you understand? Like, did you get it? Did you not get it? And really using that to kind of leverage, well, what do I need to reteach tomorrow? Or who do I need to pull aside and make sure I give them some extra help before moving on? So I had a kiddo and decided I'm not sure I want to do mom and full-time teaching. So I stepped aside from it for a little bit. And as I was in the online space, I was kind of just trying to figure out like, what do I actually want to do? And how can I take some of the skills and traits that I had as a teacher and turn it into something digitally? And what I realized was business owners are filled, like have so many data points behind their businesses. And they need to learn how to use those data points to be able to figure out like, well, what steps should I take next, right? Like, how can I increase sales? How can I decrease cost? Is this a profitable decision for me? Yada, yada, yada. And so that is actually what I do with clients. I help them kind of come alongside them and look at their data for them and really just give them a snapshot of here's what's working, here's what's not working. Based on what these numbers are saying, here's what I would encourage to really just increase those sales. Because as business owners, we would always love to increase those sales. And doing it in a way that is smarter, not harder. Um, and really just leveraging what's working. The goal by the end of this is we are going to help you be able to pinpoint as you guys, especially as you start relaunching blogs, this is like the perfect time to start kind of tagging is what we call it, tagging your traffic. So you can see where things are coming from. So you can be like, oh, this is actually working a lot more than I thought it was. And really just kind of help build some of those things. So the beauty and the hard part with selling things on Teachers Pay Teachers is you're just trying to like throw things out into the wilderness, right? Like throw things in different places and just hope that something sticks, brings the traffic over, and brings in those sales. So the beauty is TPT has some tools in its tool belt to kind of make that a little bit easier for you to really help you be able to pinpoint like, okay, my email list is really driving a lot of my traffic and a lot of my sales. Or like, ooh, when I create a blog post that highlights this one specific type of resource or is a educational type of blog post telling people how to use this resource, I'm seeing people come over to my Teachers Pay Teacher store and not only come over to my Teachers Pay Teacher store, but like actually purchase. So I'm going to create more blog posts like that. Or I'm going to create more emails that are an educational type email highlighting a resource, or even just realizing that my hard sell emails are the things that are bringing people over to my Teachers Pay Teacher store and getting them to purchase and getting them to buy. So that when you sit down, like Laura, when you sit down to write your 5 emails, you're like, perfect, I'm going to do 3 hard sells and I'm going to do 1 educational and I'm going to highlight these resources. And you don't have to spend a bunch of time trying to figure out what to talk about, how to talk about it, what resources to pick, because we have some data behind us to be able to make it really, really, really clear. But the question is a little bit of like, well, how do we get there? And the beauty with Teachers Pay Teachers is, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have not taught for a while, man. So the big question that we want to help you really be able to answer is, can you tell me where those store visits and those sales are coming from? How did the customers who purchase on your Teachers Pay Teacher store actually get there? Did they come from your email list? Did they come from your blog? Did they come from your website? Did they come from like where are they coming from so that we can really create a marketing strategy that is going to feel really successful because we're funneling people towards where they are ready to buy and where the data is showcasing that they're purchasing over and over again. So here are some ways that Teachers Pay Teachers actually is on your side and like kind of wants to make this easy for you. Okay, so let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you have a pro version of Teachers Pay Teachers. This is just going to 1, 2, Laura 3. Okay, perfect. 3 out of 5. Fantastic. I have options for both of you. For my non-pro people, we might just have to play with it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it will work. So Teachers Pay Teachers has a portion of your dashboard that is called traffic. Um, Yours is going to look different. This is a screenshot of what it looks like from a VA perspective on the thing. So normally you'll have multiple tabs up where it says traffic. And you will also see an earnings column, which is fantastic because that will show you how much money is actually coming into this thing. So if you want to, you are totally free to like pull up Teachers Pay Teachers, find this thing. But this is basically going to show you um, where people are coming to your website from. And not only that, but who's actually purchasing on those things. And on this document that I created for you, I found a screenshot on Teachers Pay Teachers of what a lot of those things mean. So that as you see some things pop up, you can be like, oh, okay, a non-TPT search is probably going to mean Google. Like they searched for something on Google, I popped up, they clicked on me, which is a great thing. Um, So as you kind of look at your thing, you're going to start to see some different categories come down with numbers for click-throughs, a number for earnings, and a percentage for conversions. The click-throughs just mean that is how many people have come to your Teachers Pay Teachers store. So I really like to think of it as like visitors. That's a number of people showing up on my page. The conversion is the percentage of those people who are purchasing. So those two things are both helpful, right? Because we would love to see lots of conversions, but or lots of click-throughs, lots of people coming to the website, but we also want to make sure that they're also purchasing. Because if we're effective at getting people to our Teachers Pay Teachers store, that's fantastic. We've gotten them in the door. The next step is then trying to figure out, well, how can we convince them to walk away with my product and with my resource? And so looking at both of those two numbers together will start to give you a good picture of what's going on. Questions thus far? Feeling kind of good? Okay. 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 Here's the problem. Direct traffic is probably going to be a big chunk of something that you're seeing on your marketplace thing. And that's just because it is anytime somebody clicks on a URL that says teacherspayteachers.com with any of your things after it. So anytime you drop a link in your email, or anytime you link from a blog post, or anytime you link on a TikTok video. If you can potentially do that, Heather, I don't actually know. Anytime you drop a link in Threads, anytime you drop a link to your store, it's going to show up as direct traffic, which is fantastic, except it does not help you answer the question, well, where are those sales actually coming from? Where are my marketing sources that are actually really hot and helping me get a lot of people to my website and to sell? But the good news is you can fix it. So here is what it could look like. You don't have this page, so sorry. And I've blanked out some of these things so that this data is not crazy. But this is what it can start to look like. You can start to see, okay, that this specific Facebook ad that I'm running is bringing in a ton of people to my store. Or this particular email that I sent on the 17th of February brought a ton of people over to my store. But as you start to look at this, is there anything that you start to notice as you look at the visitors and the conversion rates? I don't know where to find there we go. So as we're looking through, don't want to fix that. As we're looking through the click-throughs, this is obviously sorted by like the one that is bringing in the most click-throughs. So direct has a ton of click-throughs, which makes sense. Anytime somebody is going to Teachers Pay Teachers, it's going to be considered a direct source. But we can see that these Facebook ads are bringing in a lot of visitors, right? They're bringing a lot of people to this site. However, what are they not doing? They're not
Mm.
selling. So immediately as I start looking at this, like alarm bells start going off in my head of like, okay, we're paying for lots of Facebook ads that are not selling. So then it can kind of start to help you as you make those marketing decisions of like, huh, maybe I need to like stop paying for Facebook ads because it's not paying off. Or maybe I need to change up the way that I'm running a Facebook ad or something. Also, with this email sent on the 17th of February, again, it brought a ton of people to the store. But how many sales did it have? Absolutely zero. Which again could be like, so there could be some context, right? Maybe this email was not the purpose of it was not to sell, but there it does kind of beg the question of, well, what was happening? Was the resource not set up well? Like, were people clicking on the link expecting one thing and then they kind of got confused or they not quite sure where to find the resource? It helps kind of start opening the door for the things that are happening. Now, when I rate it just by conversions, again, with yours, I would probably rate it more so by earnings instead of conversion, but I can't see that on my VA version, just because all these conversions are going to show you, well, one person came and they purchased. Yay, this may have been a $3 purchase, right? Like that's helpful, but it's not, I would like to have more than one person come to my store off of something that I'm pouring a ton of energy into. But a 100% conversion rate is effective. Like that's impressive. So when we start to look at these things, when we're searching them by conversions, we start to see over and over again that her blog is sending people over to her store, and the people that it's sending over to her store are almost always going to buy. So then you can start to ask some questions of like, okay, are these blogs all highlighting the same resource? Are they all educational? Are they all um, talking about like showing multiple styles of the same resource in just different ways that people can kind of go use the blog as kind of like a preview as window shopping, and then they can click on the one that they actually want to purchase. So this is where the power really comes from being able to really see what things are happening so that if you only have 5 minutes, you can know like, perfect, I'm going to send an email because I know from my marketplace traffic sources that my email is a great place where people actually choose to convert and where people actually choose to buy. Curious? Intrigued? For my people who have the pro version, this is so easy. Teachers Pay Teachers makes this crazy easy, which is amazing. For my people who do not have the pro version, I have a workaround for you, and I'm going to tell you more about that. But you do not have to, I think we can work around them because what they're doing is they're basically just creating these fancy URLs that have extra words at the end that give Teachers Pay Teachers more information about where the link is coming from. So, Laura, as you sit down to go write an email, what you will do is instead of just dropping the link to your resource like you normally would, you would open up the URL builder. If you are on the marketplace traffic source, no, sorry, if you have a pro account on the marketplace traffic source, there is a green button that says URL builder, and it will take you right to this website, which is fantastic. If you do not have a pro version, I have a spreadsheet for you that will build the URL for you itself. It's just a slightly different process. I'll show that to you towards the end. But basically, you will take this URL builder, and if you want to, you can literally do this right this second to kind of walk yourself through the steps. I'm a very hands-on learner. But the great thing is, here's what happens. They make it super easy. You pick the product. So the normal URL that you would originally paste into your email, you plop it in there. You can even select product and choose from your own TPT store which particular product you want. Then you're going to write out your source. And your source is going to be where you're going to share the link. So it's going to be your email, it's going to be your blog, it's going to be Pinterest, it's going to be what else did you guys say? Like website. Maybe not website as much. Website would mostly just be blog. It's going to be threads. It's going to be TikTok. It's going to be wherever you're dropping the link. And then in the campaign name, you're going to write something like the date of the email or the title of the blog or even the subject line of the email. Something to remind yourself which blog or which email or which Pinterest, which pin or which thread or which whatever it is, so that when you are looking at your marketplace sources, you can see, oh, my blog about this one particular resource, or my blog about how to use this resource in the classroom is the one that's bringing in a ton of earnings and a ton of conversions. Because then you're like, perfect, I'm going to create more blogs like that for my other resources to sell more of them. Or I'm going to create other emails like that to sell more of them. And then at the very end, so for example, top 3 metrics. Metrics for, yeah. Top 3 metrics for business owners. And then at the very end, you hit generate. It spits out a fancy URL down at the bottom. You copy that, you throw it in your email instead of the original email, instead of the original link you were going to use. And then oh, your traffic sources dashboard slowly and slowly starts to look more like this. And you start to be able to notice, wow, my emails are killing it. They're bringing so many people over to my website.